as promised, I have a tier list of the first 25 VHS viewings tapes, and I'm going to make my tier list, my personal tier list, live. Now that we've seen the first 25, and I'll make this available so you too can make your own. There is a tier for didn't see, so I'm sure there's gonna be many of you who haven't seen it, haven't seen most of these tapes. But hey, if anyone wants to play along, um, what animal is Phil? Tall bird thing. Yeah, I was looking it up. You can kind of see here my research. Okay, so I'm gonna go in order. Let's see. Yogi's First Christmas was one of the first, or no, it was the first that we saw. And honestly, I enjoyed it for what it was. It was nice. It wasn't anything to write home about, but for now I'm gonna put it in B. Sometimes I move them around once I've seen it a little more, but it definitely was kind of like middle of the road. Like, no, it was on the better side. I mean, S is being reserved for the best of the best, but I would say it's on the upper half, but rather than the lower half. Yo-Yo Man, I feel really bad about. This is the first request, and I think it's more amazing, if anything, knowing that Sketch got to meet the Yo-Yo Man himself. But it wasn't fully my thing. I don't know. Maybe I just got a little bored of it, or maybe I just hope that it was less self-aware than it was. Like, it knew what it was, but I did appreciate it for that reason. And I really like the I like some of the like the crazy effects that it used. He was chill AF, yeah. I'm jealous that you got to meet him, because that alone would make me like appreciate the tape 10 times more. I feel bad. I'm gonna be putting it in C, but I did really like it. I mean, that's still better than D. D is bad. Frog and Toad together. We watched this the same night as Yo Yo. Actually, I think all of these are like in kind of in an order. But okay, I liked it. Wasn't huge on it. Wasn't offensive. Hold on, I'm gonna probably put it at B, but I'm trying to make sure this looks good. Whatever, it's fine. Um, for now, I'm gonna put it on B, but it might like straddle the line for me. I did not like it as much as Yogi's First Christmas, but I did like it slightly better than Yo Yo Man. So I'm at a bit of a loss there. Yeah, there's kind of like has to be like a weird in between, but for all intensive purposes, this is where we're at. It's better with friends. That is true. Some of these things are better when you have like friends in the room. Now this is the Hard Hat Harry fire truck tape. It was not as good as the farm one in my opinion, because I guess a lot of the initial shock was gone, but there still were some good moments. I feel like overall it was just more boring. There was less going on. If it was just covering one thing. So as a result, I think I'll put it at C. I might move it to D, but immediately that's where I put it. Jungle Cubs, Jungle Cubs. This is probably going to be a controversial one, but it goes on B for me. I think a lot of people really hated it, but I still have some nostalgia with it, and I was excited to be able to show it. I will admit that these episodes kind of sucked, but honestly, it's on the same level as Frog and Toad for me. It wasn't that notable, but it wasn't offensive either. So I put it there, I think. I might drop it down a tier later. I'm going to be making adjustments later. Okay, this... there's no... There's... Do I even have to say anything? That's an easy S tier. That's my absolute favorite that we've seen so far. Out of all of these. That's incredible. Another one that I thought was really fun, but it seems like this is a controversial take, is Chocolate Princess. This is like, to me, it's a legendary VHS viewing moment. The moment that Harmony Hart appeared, I was trying so hard not to die of laughter so people could hear it, and it just broke me. It was so great. Now, as for the actual contents, I know there's a bit of controversy because most of it is pretty shit, but I think there were some really funny things throughout it, even like Bill Cosby, how how Beaver Stole Fire was a good story. There were like funny memes throughout. I feel like there was something to say about all of them for the most part, even if most of it was pretty shitty. Everything else was mostly boring. I got a lot out of it, I think. This is my take. Now, Hitting for Kids, I was disappointed in, honestly. I know there's that bit where he says, like, oh, if I wanted to punch you, and that's like a funny moment. But was it that good? Was it that worth it? I don't know. I put it in the D tier. I think that was one of the most boring ones that I saw personally. I'm like, I just couldn't give a fuck. Continuing with that trend, this was one of the worst ones, if not the worst. This exercising tape that I did on the treadmill. It was just very generic. I mean, there was nothing notable about it. has a very kind of sleazy title, and it was like sleazy women in like bras and undies, and like it wasn't very well. No, they were wearing more than that, but like they weren't wearing much. It was a little weird. There was ass, yeah, that was pretty bad. But on the other hand, toning downtown, I put that in the A tier. That was a lot of fun, both to do and to show off. I thought that one was very exciting, and I was able to make the most of it. I also like the way the guy was like teaching. He felt like the Bob Ross of like exercising because he knew how to make it interesting or fun, and he had a good whatchamacallit, good personality to boot. Candyland Great Lollipop Adventure. You see, I don't know if I'm ranking these based off of my experience. I feel like my experience goes into a lot of it. That's why, as a result, I'm putting it at the B tier because. But this would be at like the very end of the B tier or something. I don't know. I'm rethinking a lot of these B tier ones, but I don't know. But I put it there just because it was hilarious. Honestly, the experience of watching it and realizing that it was actually kind of shitty. And like, it was so painful. I was like freaking out at some of the scenes. I don't know. That's probably not a good move. I should probably drop that down a peg. Honestly, I'm thinking of dropping this down a peg. Frog and Toad. Honestly, this entire night was pretty unremarkable for me. I'm thinking of dropping this one down a peg because I don't know if it. Or this one. One of these two. I don't know. I'm going to leave it for now, though. The Wiggles Yummy Yummy. You can argue this one was boring, but I'm putting it at A tier just because it had the Wiggles puppets in it. It had some classic Wiggles songs in it. I give it credit where credit is due, and it gets to go pretty high up. I think it was a good it was a definitive moment. I think it was at the end of the day it was better than these ones. Okay. This is going in the S tier because Mr. Potato Head Show was just incredible. I did not see that coming at all. It was very witty, very funny, great puppetry, some great line delivery. I think this was one of the top best, very best that we saw. I think it belongs up there. It deserves it. Potato Head was incredible. So thank you for Cobalt for that. By the way, I did get the Country Bears in the mail. We'll be watching that in the future. So look forward to that. Sesame Street Visits the Firehouse. This was a very quality one. You see, that's the thing though. Like I feel like it's not enough. It has to go like in between A and B for me personally. So you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna put this at B, and I think I'm gonna definitively drop these two. These were not as remarkable for me. I think I'm noticing. And I want to keep this on a level. This is like stuff that I enjoyed the experience. I enjoyed watching them. I think parts of them are good. I like Licorice Land. This is really the stuff that I don't have as much good things to say about, but it's not to say they weren't useless. I mean, I got highlights out of some of these, so they're pretty notable. I don't know, the Frog and Toad, I mean, I really liked it, but admittedly it was kind of short, and I don't know, I feel like they didn't do some of them justice. Like, I remember The Dream being a better in the books. I don't know. It wasn't the best for me, and unfortunately, VHS quality probably killed it a bit. It would have looked nice in HD, I think. Log and Toad. Now, Scared Silly, call me nostalgic. That's a bit of a cheat, but whatever. A. I love Wacky Adventures, and this isn't one of my favorites of the absolute favorites of the series, and like in comparison, I think Mr. Potato Head Show and Super Duper Supermarket Dare, I have a lot more to write home about. That could just be because I'm so used to Scared Silly, but it definitely belongs high up there. I really think, legitimately, I really enjoy that one. Another one that belongs up there, Pee-wee's Playhouse. I mean, again, it feels almost like cheap to do that because, of course, I love Pee-wee's Playhouse. I've always loved it. Those episodes were really good, actually. I think those were very solid for what it was, or like solid choices for the tape itself. I think there's better episodes out there that could even make it into the S tier. There's probably better tapes out there. Nice, Fano. I'm putting a lot in the A tier. I don't know if that's cheap or not. My next one for the A tier is actually this recent. Actually, this is probably more of a B. Yeah, I'm gonna put it in the B. This Toot Toot tape was. It had some funny stuff. This is like when the car broke down. We just watched. This is the last one that we watched before Flipper. It It had some funny moments. It had a lot of shit posts, but now that I think about it, nothing that memorable really happened in it. But I still think it's got to be up there. I think it's a sort of nice way of looking at it. I think Yummy Yummy was more notable, but it should be noted still. It was really funny. It gonna be code red when my anus bleeds all over your cock, Corey. Nice. Okay, Flipper joins the Navy. Kind of a disappointment, but I don't dislike it enough to put it in D, honestly. It was there were some funny moments about it, and it opened up an interesting conversation, as terrible as it was. So, I don't know. Fight me. Maybe it's too new in my mind. Maybe it belongs in D. I'm honestly even considering dropping this to D. This really wasn't that interesting. I found myself bored by it, and I don't really. There's only one part of it I remember, and that's him going up and down the pole, which is pretty funny. But this was a big one. This is the Wiggles movie, and it belongs in the S tier. That's where it belongs. That was the third tape we ever watched, and that's when I realized that this series truly has legs to stand on. The Wiggles movie still has moments that just make me die of laughter and just makes no sense, and it's the most batshit insane fucking thing. If anything, I think these might be my S tiers. I think these are gonna be my top three so far out of the original 25. These were the three that gave me put the biggest impression on me, and the ones that I think are the most fun to watch. Moving on, Henry's Amazing Animals. Okay, yeah. I mean, I know after last night, then perhaps Henry's Amazing Animals has a lot more to stand on because we kind of got to meme it a lot. But honestly, watching it back, it was really boring, and the real life animals were funny, but the humor's a little cringe. I like the experience of the game more. I like my own version of Henry a little bit better. Henry has grown new legs, but that doesn't change the fact that this tape wasn't the best. He might have better episodes out there, who knows? But I don't think this one was the best. Honestly, that's just kind of convincing me. There really needs to be one in between C and D that Yo-Yo Man, maybe even this could stand on, but fuck it. I'll give him C tier. I think you're right. I think he deserves a little something. Because it really wasn't as offensive as... Hold on, I'm just getting this back up. He really wasn't as offensive as some of the other ones, or not as bad as the other C tiers. Or as the other D tiers. Those D tiers are just really, really boring. And actually, hold on, I gotta scroll down a bit. That's why I'm putting this. This is Let's Go to the Farm. This was the biggest disappointment for me. This I had such high hopes for. Hold on, wait, let me try to... Hold on. I had such high hopes for Let's Go to the Farm. It had such a wacky cover. But in the end, it might be I think it was one of the most forgettable ones. And, it was just, it was just bland. And then they have footage of, an amusement park with no substance. It was really boring. Now, on the other hand, oh god, I gotta keep fucking adjusting this shit. Hard Hat Harry's farm adventure was on the better side. That was our introduction to Hard Hat Harry. I think he was a lot funnier in it. There were lots more funny moments spread without rather than just one moment of gold. He just acted like a crazy guy. It had a funny song. And yeah, watch the homies tape. Yeah. No, I know what you mean. I think a lot of these are probably better when you watch it with the homies, as it were. Even down to Magical Adventure is probably more fun to watch with friends. But I had fun with it. Okay, we're almost done now. We have Wiggly Safari, which I'm going to adjust that. Honestly, not as good as I would have hoped, but not offensive either. Again, I could say some nice things about Steve Irwin. He was great in it, as always. There's some great songs in it. It had a nice credit scene. So, I think, yeah, B is where it belongs. I think it's very middle road. Not offensive, though. So, that's why I put it there. Okay. Now, Wiggle Time. This is the other Wiggles tape we watched, and unfortunately, it wasn't as good at all. It's pretty much just the Yummy Yummy tape with all the random songs, but it was, much, much more boring. There was no puppets, no crazy shit. Yeah, Steve Irwin did a crossover with the Wiggles called Wiggly Safari. It was pretty good. for what it was. It wasn't insane, but it was good. I feel bad. I'm putting a lot in the C tier, but really, you never know with these. Like half of them were great, and half of them were kind of eh. And even some of the B tier ones weren't the best. Like this really wasn't good. I just I just put it there. And now that brings us to the last tape, the little green video. Now this one is very interesting because my history with it's pretty weird. I found it on the side of the road, or not the side of the road. I found it when walking down the street one day. But in all honesty, I don't know how good it actually was. I know the experience was funny with the hit it hard, but honestly, I just remember being a little bored, so I think I have to put it there. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't too great either. A lot of these go. It's kind of depressing, actually. Whoa, mystery tape. What are you talking about? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So that's 14, and then the last 11 are on the lower tiers. So that's not bad. I feel pretty satisfied with this as like a list, at least for now. I think this is how I felt.